The crystal again. It's a goodie. It's a goodie. Beanie on tonight. Interesting few days. And to make it more interesting, I got some messages off some people. Now, these were messages that took a bit of thought and a little bit of effort to write to me. It wasn't just a, hi, I'm coming to train in July in Lagos, can I borrow a gi? Type of a question, a statement. If you want to send me an email, at least find out what my fucking name is, or else you will get zero response. Tip. Anyway, got these, got a few messages. And the common themality among them was that I had had a positive effect on the person concerned, which was very nice to hear. But it was very nice to see that people had gone to so much effort to write a long, open-hearted message to me. It's nice. It's very nice to hear it because it's honest, and I take it in the way it's given. They're not looking for anything in return. They're just saying how it is. I've been doing this for a while. Someone will pop into my head and then I'll just send them a message. Even people that I don't know, say someone wrote a song and it made a difference to me at a particular time, I'll try and find out who wrote it and send them a message, like a composer or something like that. But a couple of the messages were from, you know, people that I've known for a long time. And then there was a couple of ones that were just a brief encounter. And generally at a brief encounter with me, I'm probably not going to remember you. In fact, more than likely I won't remember you. Because most people don't have anything for me to remember them by. They're just vanilla. And I don't really gravitate towards vanillas. Some people I could meet and someone would say to me, hey, remember you met that person there, or they were at a wedding, or you were talking to them for an hour or whatever. And I would have absolutely zero recollection of ever even being in that company. And then there's other people that I meet for a split second, and whether they're on the same frequency or whatever the fuck that is, I'm blown away with them, and it's almost like I know them already. But that doesn't happen very often. Most of them, I say, are vanillas. Anyway, back to the story was, got this message off a guy called Niall, and he said, hey, I met you about 2 years ago, I was doing a handstands class in the movement studio. I used to go to this place on a Saturday in Dublin when I was in town. Handstands and coffee. That's a shit handstand. That's a good handstand. As Ito would say. And you'd basically go to this class and have a coffee and do handstands. And it was interesting. I liked it. The thing about me is I can just go anywhere and just walk into a place and go to a class. I don't have a problem with it. And any type of class, even if I don't know what it is, if it's anything physical, generally I have attributes from other aspects of stuff I've done throughout my life that I can kind of call on. Like a handstand's not that much different to a cartwheel or a diving front roll, or do you know what I mean? It's still using some physical attributes, but for someone who hasn't got any physical background, or maybe he's into computers or just starting and stuff like that, that's a daunting kind of task. And sometimes you forget what it's like to be a beginner again. Yeah, sometimes you do. But what happened was, met this guy, and he said, look, I met you at this class, and you were there for my first ever handstand. And I was struggling in the class, and you come up to me and you said, are you here to do a handstand, or are you here not to do a fucking handstand? He goes, I'm here to do a handstand. Well, do a fucking handstand then. And he did a handstand. And he said it resonated with him, and he calls on it every now and then. And I suppose I'm just talking to myself, really, at the end of the day, because I was there to do a handstand, and I wasn't doing very well at it, you know. So why am I there? Well, why are you there? You're there to do a handstand. And it was nice to hear from someone. And I suppose for him it was, I could tell by him he was nervous. I could tell by him he was out of his depth. I could tell by him that he didn't have that experience that I had. Just like, because I don't give a fuck if I can't do a handstand. And do you know what I mean? It's not my top 10 goals of life. It was just more something to do, you know, something different, get away from the kind of MMA scene. But for him it was a big deal. And I'm glad I had an effect on someone like that. But in a case where 2 years later you're still thinking about it and you send me a message out of the blue, I appreciate that a lot. And it got me thinking about who had those type of effects on me. And I mean, if you think about it, you've all had someone that has said something at the right time that meant a lot. And they probably don't even remember the conversation. And it's good to actually bring it up, because it makes people be a bit more aware, or it makes people take the time to spot and say the right thing at the right time. There's a skill in that. There's a big skill in that. Reading a room, I think they call it, or reading people. And it brought me back to my school days. We used to have this Irish teacher who I struggled in secondary school. Not that I was there for very long, but I struggled from primary to secondary school in the transition. It went from books like My Name's John, This is Pat, This is Pamela, or whatever, Mary, They Have a Cat, They Have a Dog, blah, 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 to Peg. This like fucking prose book about someone in the Aran Islands. And the level of the jump, there's got to be something wrong with the system if you spend 10 years of your life, or 12 or 15 years of your life learning a language, and all anyone can say is, can I go to the toilet, please? There's got to be something wrong with that system. And I really wanted to learn Irish. I was a fan of it. I was a fan of the culture. I was a fan of, you know, having our own language and patriotism and all that shit. And the teacher that we had was not, even though he said he was pro-Irish, he wasn't, because what he did was, there was 42 in our class, and he segregated it into 3 different lines. The guys that were good, the guys that he might save, and the stupid fucking idiots that will never learn anything. Now, I was one of them. So every day you had to change seats when we got him for the Irish. But the guy that used to come in, he used to have this pal, it's another school teacher called Mr. Flood. And Mr. Flood used to come in to the class, and the two of them have a little chat. And he was always chewing gum. The thing about Flood was, if you were late and you bumped into him somewhere in the corridors, or you did something wrong, you had to buy him a packet of chewing gum. That was his thing. And no one could really make heads or tails of him. He was an odd sort of guy. Whereas the rest of them would just give you a smack, but that fucker, you had to buy him a packet of Wrigley's. So I remember going for the tryouts for the GA team, the Gaelic Irish football team, for you American listeners out there. And I was very small in school. Out of the year, I was the smallest in the year. So there was like, say that would have been second year or something like that. So it would be 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, and 42 of each. So like 100 and odd, 130 lads. I was always the smallest, weakest looking dude. So on teams, I didn't do very well. I just never got picked, and you had to be, I just didn't develop quickly as a kid. So I go for the tryouts for the football team, and Flood was reffing and also selecting who was going to be on the team. And for once I got the ball. And I was delighted I had the ball. I was kicking it into my hands, and this guy called Colin Mooney, his father used to own EP Mooney's there on the Longmire Road, grabbed the ball off me, just took the ball off me. And I was so pissed. I had a little temper on me then, that when he ran away, I ran after him and kicked the back of his heels, so he went face planted into the ground. Flood jumps in, blows the whistle, sends me off, right, get off, you can't do that, sends me off. And as I'm walking off, doesn't he give me a chewing gum? And every time he came into the class to see our Irish teacher, he'd always call me up. And I thought, the first time he did, I thought, what the fuck am I after doing here? And he takes out his packet of chewing gum and he gave me one in front of everybody. And it was one of those ones that, like, at the time made me feel big when I felt small, insignificant, like I couldn't keep up with the rest of them. And all them looked at him and looked at me thinking, why is he getting chewing gum where everyone else buys him chewing gum? And that was Flood. And that was a good effect on me, even though it was just a fucking chewing gum. But it wasn't. It was just the way he did it, And I appreciate that. And I was trying to think of a few others, and I will over the next few days, and I'm going to send them messages. Just a little thought. And I might even put a pen to a paper and write a letter. Because people don't do that anymore, and it takes a bit of time. And it's nice to get somebody's signature. There's a bit of energy in it, There's a bit of thought in it. There's a bit of class in it, isn't there? A bit of class. That's my story for today. We get a lot of comments about the talking to the camera bit, and I think, do you know what it is? It's I can control the cadence of it. Whereas if I'm having a conversation with you or somebody else, and I'm telling a story, either you're listening or you're waiting on the pause to get in with your better story than my story. And if that happens, then it just becomes this little competition, doesn't it? Waiting for the pause, waiting for the breath. Whereas here, there's no one. There's just me, you, a fucking light, and a bottle of beer. It's nearly half done. And in these little sessions, I'm able to just think about certain stories and certain people that I met, and just remember them and the lesson I learned in them. Actually, do you know what? On the thing of not ever remembering people and not being a people person and not really giving a shit about people, I used to care about everybody and worry about everybody. And I remember like studying Chinese medicine, and one of the teachers would say she had to spend 3 hours a day cleaning her chi and mending her energy and washing her aura in order to wave off the bad energy that was given to her by people that came to see her. And I didn't quite understand. I thought she was cuckoo gaga. I didn't quite understand what that meant, actually. And what it means is, if you're open to it, people will dump their shit on you, their emotional shit on you. And you'll carry the burden of the world and everybody else's so-called troubles, if you're like that. Now, it took me a long time to realise that that's just their dharma. We're all going to have troubles in life. We're all going to have struggles in life. We're all going to have ups. We're all going to have downs. And there's nothing wrong with that. I find people are too much into this kind of like mental health buzz and do this for mental health. What's me riding a bike got to do with somebody's mental health? That's what I don't understand. You know, just be in it, appreciate it. If you're down and you're fed up, stay there. Don't be running away from it. There is no growth in comfort. If all of life is just comfort, you're never going to get anywhere, son. Ever. All my stuff came from hardship. All my stuff came from being in bad spots and fucking finding a way out. You know, there's a way out of hell. You just got to fucking find it. But stay there till you find the exit and then bounce. But don't be running away with a pill. Don't be running away with masking. Don't be running away with pretending that it's not there. If you've got a black cloud over your head, it'll pass. Everything does. If you've got sunshine over your head, that will pass too. Do you know what I mean? From now in life, I try to be like this. I try not to get too excited. I try not to get too down. And I like to keep that level playing field. And for me, that works. For me, that works. I was going to tell the story about the... should I? Yeah, fuck it. It's how I react. Sometimes I don't react to meeting new people too well. I really don't. Do you know why? It's because they don't have anything for me, and they're just like, they're excited about New Year's Eve and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and their whole world is going to change, and their team won on Saturday, and they don't contribute, they don't try, they're full of shit basically. And I find myself at the normal stuff. Oh, there goes the mic. Is it still plugged in? I still find myself at the normal stuff. I'd rather be on my own than sit in a room full of people that are just pretending that they're better than they are. We're all shy. But just some of us are better than others because we fucking put the work in. Well, if you don't put the work in, default, lazy, every cell doesn't want to do fuck all. And every cell is going to do fuck all. You just got to work at it. Story was, myself and Candy were minding this gaff for this couple, and they had two Alsatians a few years back, and they went away. We looked after the two brother Alsatians. We stayed in our gaff. We looked after the house one summer. It was gas. They were just two mad dogs. They were leaving. They came back solo gaff, and they were leaving. They had this going away party. They invited us to the party. We walk in. The boys will sit with the boys, and the girls will sit with the girls. And this is an example how, like, sometimes best just to leave me alone, you know. sit down at a table and I sit with these gentlemen, and one of them is there, and I'm introduced as, this is Colin, and he's a martial art expert. Jesus, like, so what do you do? Yeah, I just hate that interview process where you sit down with somebody, and especially in a lot of places, it's, so what do you do? And how old are you? And what sort of car do you drive? And I'm just not interested in any of those conversations whatsoever. So I got introduced as this Colin Bourne, the martial art expert, to this guy that I'm not going to have anything in common with, and I can tell straight away we're on a different frequency. Like, it's a nod walking past you, and that's about as far as we can go. So he says to me, what sort of martial arts do you do? So I said, mixed martial arts. And he's like, really? Is that like taekwondo, like karate? And I said, no, it's not. And you kind of know where this is going to go. So then what are you left with? Do you know the UFC? No, I've never heard of that. What's that, like hockey or something? No, it's like this Ultimate Fighting Championships. And then where can you go after that? You're back to cage fighting, aren't you? It's like, so do you know what cage fighting is? And he's like, oh yes, I've seen that. That's horrendous. Is there any rules in that? So yeah, there's a lot of rules actually. You know, you can't hit someone in the back of the head. You can't finger poke someone. You can't kick someone in the nuts. A lot of rules. It's a very skillful game actually. And then he looks at me and says, can you bite somebody's nose off? So then I thought, like, let me end this conversation right here. So I said to him, if you did that, that would just make you a cunt. And he got up and left. That's what you get for asking a fucking stupid question, isn't it? So that's it for today. I've kind of waffled. I don't even know if this one's going to make any sense, but yeah, sometimes it's like that. I just wanted to have a beer and have a chat and get a few things off my chest, and that was it. So that's it. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're not staying safe. I hope you're taking a fucking chance. I hope you're planning, looking for what's going to happen next, looking for the opportunities that will arise. Don't get lost in the small stuff. Don't get lost in the shit. Shit washes off. Be ready. Stay ready. Stay focused. Stay switched on. Because shit will change. We are all one. Harikrishna. Namaste. #Rafter. Rafter.